Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Poorboys Little Homestead. Thanks for stopping in. If this is your first time here, please stop by anytime. Today I'm going to be giving a review and a little overview on some modifications and DIY modifications and accessories, and some DIY accessories I had on this side by side, and tell you why I did what I did and why I got what I have on here. Now this here is a 2018 Pioneer 500. I previously owned a 2014 Honda Pioneer 700 and liked it just as much as I liked this 500. But when I had the 700, I hunt on public land and it just ain't as maneuverable as this 500, so I'd use my four-wheeler when I was hunting. Well, a guy wanted to buy my 700, so I sold it, and I bought me the 500 and sold my four-wheeler, and now I use this 500 for work purposes and my hunting purposes. And that's why you're going to see a lot of DIY accessories on here I'm going to show you that might give y'all some ideas or something y'all might want to do. But I can't say that I like the 700 better than I like the 500. In any scenario other than my wife probably liked the 700 a little better because it has a little more room in it. But that's rare occasions we own here together, so I like the 500 just for the fact that it's smaller, more maneuverable through the woods and the trees. So we're gonna get started here. Like I said, this is the 2018 Pioneer 500. One of the first things I did was bought a set of rims and tires. And I can't remember where I ordered these offline, but it was the wheel and tire package. They came already on the wheels. All I had to do is bolt them on. And I went to 27 9x14s. So I went up to 14-inch rims, and I went to 27 because I wanted all the ground clearance I could get. And that's one thing that if I could back up and do again, I probably wouldn't go above 26. I had 27s on my Pioneer 700, but the 500, it's got enough power to pull them in the mud, but you got to get all the way in the first gear when you're in some good mud. So it kills the power a good bit. So if I had to do that over again, I wouldn't go above 26, and I for sure wouldn't go wider than 9s. Really and truly, I wished I had, I don't even know if they sell them, but I'd like to have some narrow tires. Like some 27s by 7s. Then I think that'd give you your height, and I think it would be narrow enough that it wouldn't kill the power in the mud. Them's ITP is the brand on the rims. Now I don't know what name that particular rim is. And that is Swamp Light tires. And that little 500 with them Swamp Light tires, like I said, you have to get down in the first gear when you're in some good mud, but that joker will go way better in the mud than that 700 would. So I'm gonna just do a little walk around first and show y'all some of the accessories. And like I said, a lot of these is DIY accessories I did, modified, and done myself. And this might go into a part 2 or part 3 video. So if any of this is interesting to you, please hit the subscribe button and like. That helps me out. But also, whenever the part 2 and part 3 comes out, you'll get a notification to let you know I got a new video up. So let's walk around, and I'm gonna show y'all all the accessories and what we're gonna be looking at, and I'm gonna be jumping back and forth on telling you things I like about it and a little bit about the side by side as I go along. I ain't got this written out on no blueprint how I'm gonna do it. We're just gonna jump into it and show y'all what I did. Some things you finna see you've never seen before and probably I'll never see again unless you do them because you've seen me do it. I'm bad about coming up with my own little ideas. All right, so I'll flip the camera around here. We're gonna start off again. This is a 2018 Honda Pioneer 500. I've added, when I first bought it, I put the ITP rims, they 14-inch rims, and were swamp light tires, 27 by 9 by 14 on the front, 27 by 11 by 14 on the back. I wished I'd have, like I was saying earlier, I wished I'd have went with 9s all the way around, just so it wouldn't have killed the power as much as it did. You see I put the cloth style windows. This is aftermarket, this ain't the Honda ones. I'm gonna show y'all all this, and I'm gonna come back and put the camera on the stand and show you how each thing works and how I did it. So they roll back, Velcro back out of the way, which I like because during work, sometimes when I'm at work, I might be 5 miles from my truck, and if a rain comes up on me, I don't want enclosed doors because it gets too hot. But in the winter time, one thing I added right here, the door opens, and after a while, I'm gonna show you when that window's shut, it left a little hole right here. So I took me some plastic and a heat gun, and on each side, I screwed it right here. Then I heated it and bend it to where it turns in. So I might as well go on and stop at this point right here and show y'all how the door works. That way we can cover each thing as we go. So on the window, I just used me some little bungee cord. It comes with Velcro up top right here on the top 2 pieces. And you have to put your snaps on. It's got 3 snaps you fasten here. And then you put your snaps, it's 3 snaps you screw on to your door where it snaps on. I just keep it rolled back like that. You would snap it on your bottom snaps. Snap it on your door snaps. I ain't gonna snap all the snaps. I'm gonna just snap a couple of them so y'all can see the idea. On the front up here, I just use a bungee strap to keep this piece. This piece just flops if you don't. So I use a bungee strap and roll it up out of my way and use them little bungee straps. And then the door just slips. So as you can see right here, there was a hole right behind this where the door curves up. There was a hole that air comes through a lot. And that's why I DIY'd this piece of plastic here. And it curves, and that keeps the air from coming through that hole or rain. You do have to unzip the door to get in and out, but you ain't got to unsnap it. But I like them little doors. I'll try to put the price in the comments there, what I give for them. I can't remember back when I got them how much they were. But I like them because you can tie them back out of the way, and when it gets cold, I got doors, or when I get caught in the rain, I got doors. But that's pretty much it for the doors. And the little top on the side here, that ain't a Honda. That's an aftermarket top. And I'm gonna show y'all in a little bit why I went with that aftermarket top, because I built my own windshield because I didn't like no windshield that was on the market at the time. It may be something better now at this date. But I'm gonna show y'all my 3-piece windshield and how it slides up and down. And that's why I went with the aftermarket top and the aftermarket back glass on the back. As we moving forward, these little rubber fender flares right here. I didn't like what was on the market because they hard plastic, and you hang it on a limb or something, it would bust your fenders. So I made these. That is the rubber seal that you have to replace like in your slide outs on a travel trailer. I have a travel trailer and I had to put new seals around it. And when I bought that roll of this stuff, it had extra more than I needed, so I made my fenders out of them. They can hit limbs, they flop, they thin rubber. They ain't gonna cause you to break your fender, but yet they do their job. They block the mud. And I got them all the way around, front and back. Moving around toward the front, I got a super winch, 4,500 pounds. I wanted to make sure I got one big enough that I didn't have trouble winching out. Because once before I put a smaller one on my 4-wheeler and it just wasn't strong enough. So I wanted to make sure I got strong enough. So I got 4,500 pound winch, super winch that come from E-Trailers. A lot of people mount their winch down here low. I didn't want my winch down low because it's all where I'm hunting, it's mud and water, and your winch would stay full of mud and everything else. That winch for this 500 mounted right on there. I'm talking about it was fit like it was made for it. And 4 bolts clamped around each bracket on each side. I mean, you couldn't ask it to fit no better. And then sitting right on top of it, I just put me I think that's a 8-inch LED. Before I bought the winches, LED was actually mounted in this hole, and that's the reason I went with that size, because it fit right in this hole. But after I bought the winch, I just moved it up to the top. Made my own little bracket here to fit it on. But it's way, that one little 8-inch LED is brighter than them headlights. But I learned a long time ago, when I was hunting on them old 3-wheelers and 4-wheelers, to always have me an extra light put on there. If you get back there and your fuse blows on your headlights or your headlight bulb goes out, then you ain't got no light at all. Now I got 2 sets of lights, and most of the time I never turn the headlights on. I just got a toggle switch in there. I flip this light on because it's brighter than the headlights anyway. Nothing different on the passenger side. Same door setup. Same DIY piece here to block the wind. Same fenders. But when you get to the back, that's where things start getting a little different from most folks. Like I said, I set this 4-wheeler up for work and hunting. So y'all know the 500 comes with just a flat rack on the back. It don't dump or nothing. Well, I had this extended basket that was on one of my, I think it was a 2005 Yamaha four-wheeler I had for a Big Bear. So I bolted it right on this rack. But you can see it was just right that I could put one of these truck bed toolboxes across the front. And that extended rack slid right up in there. Then on each side of that extended rack, I got me 2 metal ammo boxes that I can store stuff in. You see stuff like that hammer holder, that's 2 different purposes. On my job, I use it to dry stakes. Also, I can stick one of them big umbrellas in here. Cause when you out in West Texas, you ain't got no shade trees. So I got a big umbrella holder right there, and I got a big umbrella holder right here put on each side. Also, what worked great about this, you see that hole in that basket? That big umbrella fold up and stick right through that hole. And you ain't got to worry about where you haul your umbrella. But this is just a regular, I think they call them side rail boxes for pickups. It worked just right on there. And we're probably gonna wait to last on this contraption on the back. This is my deer lift. And on the bottom on the back, this four-wheeler come with this little, I don't know if that's an inch or an inch and a quarter square hitch receiver. But I got the one that adapts from that up to a 2-inch. And then on that receiver, I welded me an 1 7/8" ball on top of it. That way when I'm pulling my little 4x4 trailer or my P-row, it hooks to the 8" 7/8" ball. This hitch with this deer lift on it slides into this 2-inch hitch, so I can just slide it out when I don't want it. Then I took just a piece of pipe and I cut it and welded it and welded me a 2-inch ball, so when I ain't got this hitch on there, I can stick that in there and it gives me the height and I can pull my boat. I was on a job one time where I had the boat in the RV park and there was a lake right down the road. I didn't even have to hook my boat to the truck. I hooked it to my side by side. So I wasn't putting in a boat ramp no way, so hooked it to the side by side. Go down there fishing every day. So that's why I made this here, because you couldn't buy nothing. You might could buy something that tall, kind of like this piece, but that's so heavy duty. Didn't need nothing that heavy built. So I just made my own. The back glass, that's not a Honda, that's an aftermarket style. I didn't care about going with Honda and all that because these plexiglasses get so scratched up and stuff you can't see out of them. And that's another reason I built my own windshield that we're going to get to here in a moment. The box got good storage in it. One of the modifications that I made to this 500, which when I was in West Texas working, I did it to the four-wheeler I had out there first. That four-wheeler had a box mounted on the front rack. I basically snorkeled my air box, and you can see the line right here. I use flex line. I snorkeled it into this box. And on that four-wheeler, I snorkeled it into the box that was on the front rack. And inside that box, I just put a auxiliary air filter over that hose. Because it's so dusty out there riding on them right-of-ways that I would have, my four-wheeler would get to where it wouldn't even run, and you would stop and beat the air out of your air filter. That's how stopped up it was. So I had 2 air filters, and that saved my inside one, because this one would stop up. Even though it's inside that box has got enough ventilation room that it got enough air, but it sucked enough dirt that it would stop that filter up, and I would have to take it off and beat the dust out of it in order to have enough air for my four-wheeler to run. But that, I didn't do all this worrying about getting in deep water, but also now that it's snorkeled up into this box, I can go in the water this deep. While I was doing that, I went and took all my lines, my vent lines to your rear end, front end, your carburetor. Well, this ain't carburetor no more, fuel injection, but all my vent lines, I vented them. I'm gonna remove the seat out of here so I can show y'all how I vented the seat on these 500s is opposite from the 700s. The 700s you pulled up the front. The 500s you pull up on the back and then lift them out. On this 2018 model, you got to have your seat belt latched for it to run. So that's why I leave my driver's side seat belt latched all the time. On removing the back seat, pull out on the bottom of it first, and then it just comes right out. Now y'all can see this here is nothing more than a piece of vinyl siding off of a house. But this back glass come all the way down, and it stopped about right there. But it would be so much dust coming up through here, I took a piece of that vinyl and cut and zip tied in here to keep so much dust from coming up in the cab wheel. But here's my bend hose. I drilled a hole into this bar, this headache bar support. I hope I can get in this where y'all can see it, guys. Me trying to do the camera and do this by myself. But I was trying to show you one of the vent hoses here. I drilled it and put it in this support bar inside it, and it runs up this bar. I done one right here, and the one for the front goes into the front headache rack bar. And then a couple of them goes, they up under there, but they go into this side. That way, when I'm up there hunting and I run off in one of them deep holes and that water comes up over my waist in the seat in there, I got my air box sealed, and my spark plugs, put that electrical grease on it, and normally I'm good to go. Now I don't like riding in deep water, but every now and then you'll hit one of them holes, you ain't got no option, and you better have things prepared or you finna be flooded out. Now I'm gonna do a video on how to service this and change the oil. That'll be coming up on its own video. Put the seat back in. You got these little clips on the back. You stick them under, stick the top under first. Then you just push in at the bottom. When it's lined up, it'll pop right in place. Front, bottom seat, you stick the front end first. Kind of move it around till you feel them line up on the back, and then just push straight down. Like I said, that's opposite on the 700. The 700 you have to pull the front up on them. I done got my seat belt here. Gotta get my seat belt bag out. On the inside, I put my toggle switch right here. See if y'all can get that where y'all can see it. There's my toggle switch from the LED light on the front. Right here under you, on your left side, is where I put the plug for your winch. Then I just keep my cable with you in and out. I just keep it tied up in my toolbox. It plugs right in there. And your cable's like 10 foot long. That way you can get out and stand off to the side while you're winching yourself through the mud. All this electrical stuff, guys, always buy you some electrical grease and keep put on all that ends and like on the little holes in the end of this cable and battery cables and everything. That way it keeps them from rusting and corroding. Now up under the hood on the front, it's enough room under here, and they sell little boxes. Or you can do like me and just go to the dollar store and get you a little box and cut it to fit in there. Now I got an extra tow rope, a ratchet strap, a little air pump. Cut another little plastic fan fits in this hole back here. I got a little jumper cable, some tire plugs, and extra spark plug. You got plenty of storage room. And this is where when I mounted my winch, here's where I mounted the, had to run my hot wire from the battery, which was the hardest part of running your winch, because you had to get your hot wire all the way back from the battery up here, and then I mounted the rest of it just right here. Run my wires to the winch. But like I said, the hardest part of that's just running your hot wire from here back to your battery. Also, guys, in the inside, I mounted me a rearview mirror. Got a fan here. And I don't know if you've seen my video, but I attached a video above where you can go. I have a heater that I mount right down there on the floor, and it sets the fire guy. Got a line that runs to the back. The bottle rides on the back during the wintertime. That fan will circulate that air and keep you, defrost your windshield when you wake up and it's froze to go hunting. Keeps your window thawed out, defrosted. But guys, they just toys. You can rig them up, but you can just rig them up any way you want. Do all kinds of stuff to them. But if you like this little video, please hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. If you hit the subscribe, you'll get a notification. The next video is going to be going over the windshield. I promise you that's going to be a windshield you ain't never seen before, how it works. So if you like this little video, seeing some of this stuff, you may want to watch that. And I'm going to have the video on how I built the deer lift on the back and how it removes and assembles and everything. So this is going to be either a 2 or 3 part video. Then the next time I service it, I'm going to do a video. I just done a video a few days ago on servicing the 700, but I'm going to do a video on servicing this 500. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. God bless and have a great day.